Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of League Unlocked. My name is Eric, and as we know, the off-season is a dark and trying time, especially after all the roster moves and rumors are done, the rosters are set, and you're just left waiting. All-Stars is behind us. You still have a full month and a half before games kick off, but thank goodness for the LPL and their absolutely ridiculous regular season schedule. We're playing seven days a week this year. They start as early as the 13th. Basically 2 full weeks ahead of any of the other major regions. But God bless their soul, we finally have some games. And what better way to kick off the 2020 Spring Split in China than with Fun plus Phoenix going up against Invictus Gaming in that rematch of the semifinals, and the two teams that have clearly been the best squads out of China, at least all of last year in 2019, have them back on the Rift with some different looking rosters, both squads at least making one move. The new bot lane for IG, and Khan comes in for Fun Plus, and the defending champs wasted absolutely no time in debuting their new top laner. He was in there right for game one, and they said, you know what? You get Ornn duty for game one. That's a fun time for Khan. Meanwhile, IG running the FPX comp with the Rumble mid and the Qiyana jungle. It was Ning who got the start. Puff and Southwind are in there. There's no Jackie Love, and LWX gets the Misfortune ulti for some kills. We know everybody's been talking about MF, how she's an absolutely insane pick, and that was the theme in the first day of LPL action, is a lot of Misfortune, as FPX jumped out to a 6-0 lead, but pretty much immediately after they got those 3 kills, IG ran it back in a replay in the Battle of the River, basically, and 3 kills went their way to get right back on the board. It was still a sizable gold lead for Fun Plus, now 12-6 in kills. Fight around the Baron pit as Khan knocks a few people up with the Ornn ulti. The Rise ulti lets Rookie completely run away, and the Shy is trying his best on this Aatrox to try and clean up this fight. He gets pretty damn close with the World Ender, flashes in, but it's not enough. That's a tanky Ornn knocking him up, as you see FPX battling now for their 4th dragon, which, as we know, gives the soul of the dragon now in 2020, as Puff goes down on the Senna, and that's an Infernal Soul, which makes dragon going down a lot easier. It makes your attacks do AoE damage every 3 seconds, as well as your damaging abilities. And here comes Ning on that Qiyana in this fight, and the bullet time for Misfortune absolutely deletes the majority of that IG lineup. Baron buff goes over to FPX and 4 kills. This one should be done and dusted. They go for the Elder Dragon later, but Ning comes up with a miraculous steal with the smite. We know how busted Elder Dragon is, and IG, not only do they steal the Drake, but they kind of survive the fight, get a couple of kills their way to stay alive in this game in a 2-for-1. And then it's FPX disrespecting, 2-man pushing for an inhib. First LWX goes down, and then Doinb, he gets the trade kill on Rookie, but the Shy kills him, and all of a sudden Crisp is left in no man's land, trying to save his mid laner as a Leona. He is absolutely helpless, can do absolutely nothing. He goes down. That's 3 kills all of a sudden over to IG, and now they're fighting over the Baron. It's a 2-man contest and a 2v4, 2v5 it ends up being. That's just more kills being handed over to IG. The bullet time is not going to steal the Baron. The smite key was very strong for Ning in this one, and now it's 5v4 in the base for IG. They looked like they were absolutely going to lose this game. They had a huge deficit. They were down a Baron. The Elder Dragon steal by Ning, and then the pushing forward for no real reason for FPX to get Invictus back into this game, and they absolutely survive. Not only do they survive, but they come away with the W. They steal game one from the jaws of defeat. It ended up being even in turrets at the end of the game, 8-8, and almost even in kills. We were almost looking at 60 total bloodbath on the map, but that's exactly how you want to start the LPL season. 4 dragons to 1, also in favor of FPX, but IG steal game 1. Game 2, Khan says, do not put me on a tank again. I'm playing Fiora to go into that Aatrox matchup, and that's exactly what they do, and they say, let's give some attention. Tien on the Jarvan goes right in to punish the Shy. and it's a perfect dive for them. The flashes to survive, no trade kill, and it's more attention in the top lane. Khan's Fiora getting out of hand early. The nasty max range hook from Crisp on the Thresh. That is a far ways to roam all the way from the bottom lane. Everybody gets low health bars on FPX, but the Lantern keeps Tian alive on the Jarvan. Then they take down Puff's Varus. It's a whole lot of kills going over to FPX. Doing B, by the way, playing the Mordekaiser mid in this one, but it was Khan's Fiora who was getting disgustingly fed. He gets the solo kill on the Shy in the top lane, then he rotates to the bottom lane and immediately flashes onto Puff. That looks fun as an AD carry. Another solo kill to Khan, who was a menace in the split push. He's forcing TPs out. He's eventually going to run away. But in the 3v3 in the mid lane, it is Puff this time on the Varus putting in work. He's going to grab the triple kill cleanup on LWX, and that's going to be forcing a Baron from IG, but B shows up in a 1v3 as the Mordekaiser brings everybody to the death realm. That is a triple kill, no Baron, unassisted. 3 solo kills quickly there for B, and then it's the Elder Dragon going over to FPX. They're going to contest this Baron, push IG off again. It's B on the Mordekaiser, scaring everybody. The Baron is still pretty low. It's stealable, but now it's regenning. But Khan is going to flash in, grab the kill on the Shy, and goodbye Puff. Nowhere to go. Not even a small little brush there is going to save him. There's no throw in this one. FPX ride through Khan in that top lane with Tien's help, and they tie the series up at 1. It looks like Fiora works better than Ornn for Khan in the top lane. Game 3, a third straight game on misfortune for LWX, and B gets the Diana pick in this game, which we know has been solid in solo queue, and B is the madman for playing unorthodox picks in the mid lane. Also, Lian subs in for Ning in Game 3, and there goes B basically suiciding, but he grabs first blood, so worth on that Diana. The pick composition, Lian has no chance to survive there with the bullet time and the Leona ulti, but Rookie on the Orianna had some nice ultis in this one, and it was the Shy who got Ornn in this matchup, and just we compare what he does on it versus what Khan did in Game 1. He was definitely more impactful. As we see this extended fight going on, it ends up being pretty even across the board, a 3-for-3, 7-5 now in kills for IG as they start the Baron, and that is just a little bit of zoning that's going on from the Shy, and apparently he's not taking damage. B flashes in and gets a 4-man ulti now from Diana, because her E pull-in shockwave type move is now her ulti as she got the rework, but he just doesn't do any damage. He gets a 4-man, and the old Diana would have assassinated everybody, but not the case with this reworked, especially when he's very behind. That's more so the case. Another nice ulti from him, but the damage isn't there. The bullet time does not land on the backline or anybody that B pulled in, as Khan is going to be taken down at the end of this. It's Puff again on the Varus in this one, and now it's a 4v4, but the flash in from LWX takes down Rookie, and FPX survive in their base. Now it's a 3v3, but the TP is coming in. Here comes B on that Diana and the flank. It's another nice ulti, but nobody can clean it up. The flash from Puff, and he cleanses to stay alive and put out insane damage to keep the fight alive. He does eventually go down, but he takes down LWX on his way to the grave. 2 people survive, and eventually Lian is going to show up on the Kiana. The Shy's Ornn actually puts in work, and he played at a very high level throughout this series. IG gets some revenge from the semifinals at Worlds to take the first series in the spring split for 2020. FPX, you remember how infrequently they lost in the regular season throughout all of 2019. Well, they start this year's campaign with a loss over to IG. And the bot lane, which was obviously the big question mark, no Jackie Love. We knew that Southwind was going to be an upgrade over Baolon, who struggled throughout pretty much all of 2019, but Puff absolutely showed up in this series. The Shy was still the Shy. I think Lian, even though he only played 1 game to Ning's 2, he looked better, and they played the same champion in all 3 games. It was the Kiana. I'm expecting Lian to get more games going forward throughout this regular season. Khan played all 3 in the top lane. There was no Gimgoon. Khan looked good. He didn't look great on the Ornn. The Fiora, obviously, they completely played through. Top laners got all 3 MVPs for these games. The Shy getting it on Ornn in that 3rd game was impressive. Rookie, you almost forgot, was in this series. He wasn't bad per se. He was questionable on the Rumble, but he had some nice Orianna ultis, but he was not the star of this series. Puff shows up in a huge way along with Southwind. They were both great in that bot lane, and the Shy continues to be the Shy. Not quite panic time yet for FPX when it's game 1 on this LPL season. Coming up after the break, the second set of games on the opening day. You had Peanut making his debut for LGD. Can they really be a playoff team? What is up, down, and sideways, all you beautiful people? Welcome back to League Unlock as we go through highlights. That's right, highlights. Games are back. LPL 2020. I hope you like Chinese League of Legends because it's going to be here every day of the week for the next couple of months. There's going to be a whole whack of games, 2 a day, and the second set from the opening day had the return, not really the return at all, the debut of Peanut in the LCK on that LGD roster going up against LNG. Both rosters, some serious changes from what we saw in 2019. Obviously, LNG's big stamp on 2019 was upsetting IG in the playoffs and demoting them to the regional gauntlet where they would inevitably win and still finish top 4 at the World Championship. But LNG beat them when the playoffs rolled around. They lost SFM. Big hit, but the big story here is Peanut going alongside Kramer for LGD. And game 1, it was let's give Peanut something that can be active early, which is something he did not do throughout the majority of his time on Gen G. It's the Gragas, and it's Aphelios in the bot lane for Kramer. We know how broken he has been in solo queue, but first blood in his first game in the LPL. Peanut gets things rolling for LGD in the top lane with Cult, and then the battle around the Rift Herald. You had Maple, by the way, playing LeBlanc in this matchup, which is fun, but Aphelios, it's Kramer flashing into the Rift Herald, and now it is 5-1 in favor of LGD. They were definitely in the driver's seat in the first 15 minutes or so of this game. LNG, they held their ground. They didn't lose any of their inner turrets for a while, and then the flash in here from XX, formerly of TES, now over on LNG. But you see the bullet time, and the theme again from the LPL today is how many times Misfortune gets picked. It was 6-3, and now it's 3 kills over to LNG to get back into this game. Look at that bullet time damage. Here comes XX going deep for that kill onto Kramer. He does go down. 2 kills now over to LNG, and they had the Baron buff after that win. And then the scrap in the mid lane. This is the time for you to keep your eyes on Kramer and the Aphelios pick in this one. You know how complicated this champion is, all the Qs and the Ws. He's got less buttons, but you gotta press those buttons more, and it's a strategic fight, and his damage is completely busted, but he is untouched here. The Chakra's doing insane amounts of damage, and all of a sudden, the opposing team is gone. This guy has range, he has sustain, he has wave clear. He has absolutely everything that you need in a champion, and it seems a little bit unfair because he also has CC like that, and the Moonlight Vigil takes down a kill there, and Irelia is chasing. There's just no chance for anyone to do anything when Irelia is that fed, especially when you're Misfortune with absolutely zero escape. As Asura goes down, it's more kills for Kramer. Aphelios finishes the game 10-1-4, and it wasn't even that impressive. It wasn't Kramer really popping off or playing well, which is something we saw throughout all of 2019. He could have looked more busted on that pick, but LGD get the win in their first game. He still had the damage numbers. Game 2, it is another Misfortune, this time for Asura, and Peanut rocking his patented Lee Sin, a champion we have seen him obliterate on international stages and domestic ones, and early on, it's a dive gone wrong as Peanut's there for the counter jungle, and then he will be chasing this Aatrox, which, by the way, new season, just a lot more Aatrox picks in the LPL. As the mid-rumble roams around, doing B, you can feel him changing the meta with that coming in. The flash out here from Peanut to survive, and it is Yuki coming in to grab that kill. And then pushing a little bit too hard are LGD. The TPs are coming in. Here comes the Rumble, but the rest of the squad is there for LNG. They get right back into this game and take over as Cult immediately has to flash out of this fight after TPing. Yuki's going to go down. Maple grabs the kill on the Zoe, and driver's seat swaps over to LNG. They start controlling the pace of the game. They're initiating these fights with the bullet time. Goodbye, Kramer. He's not playing the Aphelios this game. He has sums in that fight, but he gets stunned up and immediately dies. This one was over pretty quickly. The snowball was fast and it was fierce from LNG. They got an inhib, and to LGD's credit, they did win a team fight or two inside their base to kind of stay alive, but the battle around this fourth dragon, you have to contest so that they don't get the soul. They get exactly that. It happens to be Cloud, and they push it right down. 18, now 19 kills to 6, about a 25-minute game. Totally different from what you saw in game one. LNG completely stomps this one. Ashura does not die on the misfortune, and we are forced into a game 3. 11 turrets to 3. Like, it was clearly big in favor for LNG ever since that fight in the top side. Kramer gets the Aphelios again, and is the 6th straight game of the day where somebody plays Misfortune, the 3rd straight for Asura. The bot lane dive looks good for LGD. 3-0 start after they already got first blood. Get Kramer rolling on that busted pick yet again. But this time, that was a clean engage and jump in there from LNG on the Braum. As Kramer goes down, Ashura grabs the first one. The TP comes in. Aatrox and Mordekaiser. Everybody's here for a little bit of an old-fashioned brouhaha, but Flandre is going to grab the last kill onto Cult, and that is a Infernal Dragon going over to LNG, and the proceeding fight, it doesn't look great. The flank looks like it should be working out for LGD, but the bullet time is there from Ashura. He does go down. Peanut assassinates him on the Rex side. Very back and forth fight, and a fight on two fronts, really. Incredibly extended. Flandre does end up grabbing the last kill onto the LeBlanc, and the Aatrox is going to run with the tail between his legs and survive. Now we're around the Baron as it goes over to XX. He grabs it. Flandre grabs the kill onto Peanut. He just threw him in the Death Realm. There's no real chance to contest, and Mordekaiser is the ultimate denier of smites when it comes to the Baron. The rest of the fight absolutely goes the way of LNG. Cult survives on the Aatrox, but his entire team is dead. The rest of LNG are alive. LGD, the start was so good in this game, but they lose the series 2-1. Maple on his new squad of LNG, new mid-jungle duo, get a win in their first series of 2020. And Peanut, he was okay. I think he was active. He was getting first blood in three out of the three games. Actually, he was involved in the early game and had LGD looking good early on. Kramer was a little bit underwhelming on the Aphelios. That's a champion that's going to take, it might take until summer where we really see players fully utilizing how absolutely disgustingly insane that champion is. Let's just go through again what he has. He has Sustain, he has CC, he has Wave Clear. He's basically a combination of Jinx and Jhin. The absolute best available parts of their kits combined into one, which is just absolutely insane, and he will continue to be insane and be permabanned. The bot lane meta, it looks like Misfortune. 6 out of 6 games she was played on day 1 in the LPL, and Aphelios a couple of those as well. We didn't see any Kai'Sa, we didn't see the Xayah, but Misfortune and Aphelios might be the future of 2020 in the bottom lane, but LNG get it done, and IG also get it done. They both sit atop of the standings after day 1 at a perfect 1-0 in the LPL.